Okay, so day 291. I'm gonna call this the average guy's reality TV. So yesterday I had a flat. When I woke up, I had a flat. Now a while back I had the tire plugged and the plug just wasn't working out. There was a slow leak, so I had to change the tire. Now with the Renegade, you have a full spare in the trunk. It's an actual full tire. So when I ordered the new tire, I asked that they take the full spare, leave it on the front, take the new tire and put it on the other side of the front, and I'd take the sort of worn tire, put it in the back as a new spare, which was done, but the guys at the auto shop did not put the cap back on the spare because it was never there. So I have a capless tire, which I will show you, or a capless rim. And so now I could either go back to the shop and have them take the tire off, which they could do in a matter of a couple of seconds, or I could make lemonade out of lemons, because I've been wanting to do a video about replacing or changing a tire for folks that have never done it. So this is true reality, guys. I've never done this before with my vehicle. I'm gonna go first off to a flat surface, a parking lot somewhere where it's flat. I'm gonna change my tire, put this cap on, and hopefully get out without an issue. And you're coming along for the ride. This is reality TV. I'm bringing you value. All right, a step-by-step guide to either effectively changing a tire or breaking stuff up. All right, so I found a nice flat surface. I'm in a parking lot where there's no traffic. So let's face it though, guys. 9 times out of 10, you get a flat tire, you're not gonna have or find the optimal space to change that tire. But at bare minimum, you wanna look for a flat surface and you wanna be away from traffic. You don't wanna be hit or risk the chance of being hit while you're under the car, near the car. So there's a little cap here, right here, a little plastic cap in the center of the tire, and on the spare, no cap. And that's because to anchor the spare, you need to have this off so you can anchor it. I'll show you what that looks like. All right, so right here, if you can see, the spare is anchored in the trunk here through that hole. All right, so as the crows come calling, the first thing you want to do in your trunk is you want to find your jack. Now, the Renegade has a pretty cool little setup. It's got a little kit here. I've never opened it, but there you go, nice and new. Okay, so these are the two parts of business we need. There's our jack and our tire iron. All right, and here is that Jeep cap that I have to install. All right, so you're gonna wanna look for a point under the vehicle to mount the jack. Let's see if we can find one. All right, so the first thing you'll want to do is find a place on the chassis to attach the jack. You don't want to attach the jack to the rubber parts of the vehicle. You want to look under. And right here, this looks like the right spot. And there's a lip on this jack that catches. That's where you're going to want to put the jack. All right. So the first order of business, I'm just gonna wanna start elevating the jack by hand. So as you can see, it's a nice snug fit. And now, before I go up and get the tire off the ground, I'm gonna wanna untighten the lugs while the tire is on the ground. All right guys, the first order of business, I want to loosen up the lugs on this tire before I start elevating the vehicle. So I don't want to deal with trying to, get the tight lugs off once the vehicle is up. That could be a little dangerous. So right now I just want to loosen them up, but I don't want to take the lugs off. I want to leave them so I can hand remove them once the vehicle is up in the air. So let's do that. I'm using the same handy dandy tire iron that I used earlier that came in the kit to take these lugs off. All right, so they're on pretty tight. And if you can't get them off, a trick that I've used is to apply a little bit of leverage. Little foot power. So you see why you don't want to do that while the vehicle's up in the air, because you want to limit the chances that you'll make the vehicle unstable and fall while it's up in the air. All right, next step, jack the vehicle up. Now, rule of thumb, slow and steady wins the race. And also, when you're removing a lug, I always try to remember rightsy tightsy, leftsy loosey. Rightsy tightsy, leftsy loosey. You want to remove a nut by turning to the left, leftsy loosey, and you're going to want to tighten turning to the right, rightsy tightsy. All right, slow and steady wins the race, guys. All right, because I have a Trail Hawk, I have a little bit of a lift on my vehicle already, a little bit more time to get this tire up. The next move is to take off said wheel. All right, so now I'm ready to take the wheel off. There we have it. All right, so this is where I need to replace that cap. So I'll turn it over. Said cap snaps in place. And on the back side, this little metal clip goes in here. All right, I finally got the clip back on. So now it's time to put the tire on. And in the reverse order, I'm gonna hand tighten the nuts, but I'm not gonna do any herky-jerky movements until I have the tire back on the ground. So I'm not gonna tighten it up until it's back on the ground. All right, so let's do that. Expect to get pretty dirty. So I've hand tightened all the nuts and I've given it a gentle turn with this, just so the tire's not wobbly. When you bring it down, you don't want to damage any of the parts. So now, last step, let's lower the vehicle and let's go get something to eat. Thankfully, coming down is much easier than going up. It should sort of half your time on the back end. So now that we have the tire back on the ground, you'll do your final tightening here. Now that the vehicle is secure. No need to over tighten. Wrap up your jack and be on with your day. Let's look at the finished product. Pretty good if I do say so myself. Again, I hope this has been helpful to you. If you have any questions, I'm gonna be eating. I'll see you guys again tomorrow on day 292. And as always, guys, remember,
keep pushing.
play. I'm gonna go get something to eat and clean my hands.